Welcome to Chamber Talk. We are downtown Dublin, Georgia at the Carnegie today, and I have James Pope with me with the Altamaha Regional Commission. And Mr. Pope, thank you first off for joining us today. You are with the Regional Commission, and you guys are in town today to get input from the citizens here as to the future, I believe, and things that these folks feel like we need to see in our community. But give me a better description of the overarching goal for your purpose for being here today.
Well, you're exactly right. This process is something that we do every 5 years for the county and all the municipalities within Lawrence County. And the process is designed to include as much public input as we can. And we have an online survey that we have published out, and also a public hearing we've held. And then today's meeting is designed for more one-on-one conversations with members of the public. What do you want to see moving forward? We're looking at, we set our goals for 20 years down the road.
Okay.
But the plan itself is focused more, how do we attain those goals and start working towards those in the immediate future in the next 5 years. We set out a 5-year work program for each local government.
Okay.
And that ranges from your community facilities, your housing options, transportation, intergovernmental coordination, those projects that Dublin,
infrastructure, broadband, anything.
That's right. And we look at what are the issues of the community being statistically driven. What are some of the weaknesses that we find as compared to Lawrence County, city proper, out into the region, across the state, and so where do we compare outside of Lawrence County? And so by doing that, we can craft goals, craft policies that over time, as we make decisions moving forward, we can make the community a better place to live.
Okay. And James, you mentioned a few times we, and I know we say the Regional Commission, but for folks watching our show, and they may say, well, who makes up the Regional Commission? Who are those folks? So can you speak to that for me?
So when I reference we, I mean in the what we consider a steering committee.
Mm-hmm.
And the steering committee is made up of the private business sector, your larger industries here in the community, your nonprofits, really any organization in the community that can take what the ideas that come out of this plan and over time make those decisions, and carry forward those ideas and affect the change that we're looking for.
So the things that come out of this meeting today go back to those people, or those are the people that are creating the synopsis maybe of everything that comes out of the meeting today?
So today's meeting, yes, everything that we talk about, all the ideas that are presented, all the ideas, feedback that we get from the public, that will in turn be shared with the steering committee and can go into further discussion. No ideas off the table when we talk about community improvement and projects that are happening today in some form developed someone had that idea years ago,
right,
and it just worked its way into a project, and that's what we're looking for now, is those initial thoughts. How can we make these things
and
through?
Is it safe to say then, after you guys do your work, does that come back to the local municipalities and city and government fashion that way to share that vision with the community, or how exactly does that look?
Right. It is adopted by the local governments, being the joint comprehensive plan, the end product. So, it is an official policy guide for our local governments, but by having that steering committee made up of a well-rounded group, committee members,
Okay.
then it's not just the government making the decisions, or, you know, you get a little more buy-in.
Right. The citizens had some input. So.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got a crowd gathered. I see already here. We got a few folks, and I know you guys need to get started. Speaking to folks and listening and gathering some of this information. So I won't hold you any longer. I want to say thank you for your time today. Thank you. Welcome to the show, Patsy Baker. And Patsy is with Keep Dublin Lawrence Beautiful. And we are here today for the Regional Commission meeting. And it's an opportunity for citizens to come down and share input as to ideas or visions or plans that they would like to see implemented in the coming years here in Dublin Lawrence County. I'm not surprised to see you here, but if you would share with our viewers a little bit of why you're here today.
Okay, I'm here for, we got 3 areas, you know, beautification, recycling, and education, but mainly I wanted to kind of find out a little bit about where the state's heading with the recycling. I keep getting mixed answers about, you know, what's accepted and what's not going to be accepted down the road. And we've got our folks trained, so I kind of want to get it from the horse's mouth, kind of what's going on. Kind of like to recommend that we maybe get an overview of somebody to come in, like from the Fannin Institute, and look at all of our programs and see what we can do to make them work together and kind of build up a recycling that kind of needs a looking at.
That's a great idea, and it falls in line with beautification of our community. So what other issues, what do you think, or what do you think you might hear today?
Well, I'd like to, I know there's a solid waste management state plan. I'd like to hear a little bit about that, you know, to see, learn more about what the landfill regulations and things that I'm kind of behind on. And the recycling end is just the lower end of ours. Literate education is our biggest, and we plan to have a law enforcement training from DCA soon, so I'd kind of like to, there's some new legislature I was going to ask Matt about deputizing citizens to go through trash that they find on the ground, those kind of things, just to find out what the state's doing that might change how we do things here in Lawrence County.
Well, and I did see Representative Hatchett come in. Hopefully we'll catch him and get him on the show in a little bit. But I want to say thank you for your efforts and what you do to keep our community beautiful here, and the wonderful team of folks that you work with. So thank you for being here today, and thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you. And beautification is important. There are a lot of DOT projects. I'd like to see things like what we could do with our ramps and things to beautify those.
Text Jet Food to 40244 and save 40 cents per gallon on your first fill-up with a Make It Count loyalty program, and 5 cents a gallon every time you shop Jet Food Stores branded Marathon. Text Jet Food to 40244 right now. Jet Food Stores and Marathon, a winning combination.
I thought I'd lost my business in that fire, but my agent was there before the flames were out. He said, together, we're going to rebuild. Our employees depended on it. My independent agent and auto owners made sure we didn't skip a beat. I mean, we didn't miss a single payroll.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
Orr Insurance in Dublin is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
I want to welcome Robin Nail to the show. And Robin, you are with the Regional Commission, and remind me again of your title.
Okay, I'm a Senior Planner, Historic Preservation Planner with Heart of Georgia Altamaha Regional Commission.
Okay, and Robin, you've had an opportunity to travel around a little bit and do some of these types of community meetings. Do you find in these meetings that a lot of the issues that are coming up are reoccurring issues?
They seem to be. We cover 17 counties, and Dublin, Lawrence County is the largest county, the largest city, but there are a lot of similarities. We're overall a very rural area, and the local governments do share common concerns and issues throughout the region.
Do any 2 or 3 of those issues come to mind repeatedly?
Well, certainly the broadband issue is major. We have, I think we're the least served region in the state, and certainly in terms of economic development and education and things, that's a real issue. So fortunately the legislature's trying to work on that and provide more opportunities for us to get better service throughout our region.
Okay. Broadband, workforce.
Workforce, definitely. We're working with 4 communities right now, including Lawrence and all the cities here, on their comp plan updates. And everywhere we go, there are jobs, but workers not available
Right.
to fill them. Just can't meet, requirements, or even kind of soft skills
Right.
like the work ethic, knowing how to get to work on time and those kinds of issues. The lack of public transit region-wide is another issue, especially with the growing population and folks needing to get to medical appointments and just
work.
everything to
Yeah.
work, everything.
So Robin, when you guys have these meetings, and we're having one today, how often, talk to me about how often you hold these meetings, and then talk to me a little bit about the process that takes place after this meeting.
Okay, well, this is actually part of the update of the Lawrence County Joint Comprehensive Plan, so covering all the cities in Lawrence County as well. And as part of that process, there's the Georgia Planning Act, and so local governments have to have a comp plan and update it every 5 years.
Okay.
And so that's what this is part of. Part of that, you're required to have a public hearing at the beginning of the process and one at the end when you're ready to submit your plan to the state, to the Department of Community Affairs for review. We started adding a public drop-in session as an extra opportunity to get feedback from the general public. We found to be very helpful so that people do have a voice. We have been meeting, we've had several meetings with the local governments in the region, some of the business leaders, we're kind of a steering committee, but again, we wanted to reach out beyond that.
Okay. And do you find that there's good follow-up with these meetings and a good success rate from the plan? So if we came up with 20, 30, 40 ideas come out of the meeting today and then the plan is put together, is there a pretty good success rate, you think, for the ideas and the action?
I think it certainly there's potential for that. It truly depends on the community and how seriously they take it. The Georgia Planning Act was passed in 1989, and at the time the requirements called for a lot of data, and we used to do the Dublin plan. The first one back in the 90s was probably about this thick because of all the data requirements and everything. And the standards have been modified through the years. We don't have to put all that sort of thing in there. And it used to be that local governments sometimes just looked at it as another requirement they had to satisfy. But after nearly 30 years of doing this, they're starting to realize, hey, these are really important tools. And so it's important to get people in the community behind these ideas and to hold the local governments accountable and to be advocates to help, because they can't do everything either. And of course, sometimes things, it's definitely dependent on whether you get funds to do a capital project. Sometimes it doesn't work out.
Grants and things such as that.
Could be grants. Sometimes the political leadership changes in the interim, and maybe they have very different ideas. But y'all have seen a lot of success here with your downtown revitalization efforts here in Dublin, and a lot of that's been tied to your comprehensive plan. In fact, Dublin is a Plan First community, and that designation recognizes the fact that the city of Dublin has been very vigilant in using its plan and trying to implement the projects that are in there.
So after our meeting today, how long before we would see results or get something back that says this is your plan?
We are anticipating having a draft plan probably by August.
Okay.
And then we would have the final public hearing and meet with the steering committee and everything, and then try to submit it in August or early September.
Okay.
The deadline for Lawrence County and its cities to have their comp plan approved, adopted locally by all the governments is October 31st.
Okay.
And the state has a certain amount of time to be able to review it, so that's why we have to work backward
Okay.
and allow time for all that.
Absolutely. Rob, I want to say thank you so much again
You're
for your
welcome.
time. Thank you for joining us on the show today.
Hello, I'm Brad Grimes with the City of Dublin Natural Gas Department. How to recognize a natural gas leak. Look, some of the signs of a gas leak include seeing bubbling water, or dead or discolored vegetation in otherwise green area, or disturbed soil, or a dense mist above the pipeline. Listen, a hissing sound that is near gas lines, appliances, or meters that could indicate a leak.
Hello, I'm Eric Cates, Field Supervisor with the City of Dublin Natural Gas Department. How to recognize a natural gas leak. Smell. The distinctive odor of rotten eggs. Natural gas is an efficient, safe, colorless, and odorless gas. For easy detection, we add a harmless chemical to give gas a distinctive odor. Most people describe the smell as rotten eggs or hydrogen sulfide-like odor. Leave. Don't delay. Get away. Leave the area immediately and move to a safe distance away from the potential leak. Avoid using any sources of ignition such as cell phones, cigarettes, matches, flashlights, electronic devices, motorized vehicles, light switches, or landlines, as natural gas can ignite from a spark or open flame, possibly causing a fire or explosion. Natural gas is non-toxic, lighter than air, and displaces oxygen. In severe cases, if not used properly, natural gas can also lead to asphyxiation. Do not try to identify the source or to stop the leak yourself.
If you think you have a gas leak, we're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Call us at 478-277-5048.
All right, I want to welcome to the show Deborah Stanley and Katie Morton with the City of Dublin. Katie, Deborah, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to be with us. We are here today at the Carnegie for the comprehensive plan, and I almost want to say update, but it's also the time that we're putting together our plan for the next 5 years.
Right.
So if you two would take a little bit of time, if you could share with me some of the things, any of the things that you can remember that maybe came out of the last plan that either we have completed or maybe we're still in the process, but we are making some headway with some goals that have come out of these such meetings.
Wow. Well, you've asked a big question because we've got a lot of projects that we've completed and we're currently working on right now. A lot of economic development type projects. Of course, in our office, the Office of Grants and Community Development, what we do is write grants for projects that help improve the community, whether it's, for income and industries. So we've written many grants that has helped put infrastructure in certain places, especially like industrial park, for like Edrich and Valmere and all that, to help bring jobs in. So that's been some of the things that we've completed as far as infrastructure in our industrial park, but also in our neighborhoods.
Okay.
So we do water and sewer improvements, with grants as well. We've got a lot of housing grants that we're working on right now, and so trying to get those implemented. That's been an objective as well, to improve housing. So it's an ongoing thing, where we're completing projects, but also adding new projects. So.
Okay.
We're also a Plan First community, which shows that we plan properly and accomplish what we say we're going to accomplish. So I think we've accomplished probably 75–80% of our last work plan.
And would you guys think, I think it's fair, I just heard Deborah say, but sometimes the work that comes forth in this plan is not things that when you're riding up and down the street, you say, oh, I see the comprehensive plans at work.
Yes.
Because it's infrastructure, it may be
behind
sewer
the scenes,
lines,
yes.
it may be certain
Yes.
things such as that. But
Yeah.
Katie, before we came on the air, you mentioned to me you feel pretty good in saying our number of completion or success. Since the last 5-year plan we had, maybe 70,
I would
75%.
say that when we did our Plan First application, that was roughly the percentage we had accomplished.
And a lot of things do go into that plan changing. One of our previous guests mentioned sometimes our leadership changes. Sometimes, and we know today in 2 years, the direction of our community could even take somewhat of a change because of technology and things such as that. So anything particular you guys hope comes out of this meeting today, or any existing efforts that you hope will be certainly continued because of the meeting today?
We have representatives from each municipality attend these planning meetings, but this is a great opportunity where locals, citizens, and members of different authorities and boards across the community can come and voice their concerns or projects they want to see implemented. So it's just a good opportunity for us to hear their voice.
It is, and this particular plan actually it serves like our community vision, and so we certainly need the participation of our residents throughout the county to come and just share what their heart is, how they see growth happening in Dublin-Lawrence County, because that's what really directs the plan. And so we need to know what our leaders are thinking, but also the people who live here. How would they like to see the community continue to grow? What do they feel are needs and issues in the community that we need to focus on and address? We're also looking, long range. We've got the new water park that's coming, and so we would love to hear some of the thoughts that our youth have, about it. And anytime we apply for grants, we need to at least have something in our plan that shows that we were thinking about it before we tried to apply for the grant, So it's good to just have some ideas for us, housing and economic development and infrastructure and, education.
So I think that again reiterates the importance of people coming out to these meetings. And I don't mind saying, and you guys know, a lot of times people can certainly offer up a problem, but they're not as readily available to say, let's talk about solutions and suggestions to fix some of these things. So I am glad to see today, I have not been to one of these meetings in Lawrence County prior, but we have Development Authority representation, we have State Representative Hatchett here, we have mayors from other municipalities here. So if you missed out today, you missed a great opportunity. But let me ask you guys this. That's what I wanted to ask.
Absolutely.
If you didn't make it down today, what do you need to do to share your input?
They can call us. They can call myself, Deborah Stanley, or Katie Morton, and we're in the Office of Grants and Community Development. My number is 478-296-1010.
Mine's 277-5076.
And of course, the city manager, call your council representative, the mayor, just get the word to us.
Let's tell them to call Lance too.
You said it.
Hey, Katie, and thank you guys so much for joining me on the show today. And I'll let you get over there and mingle with these folks just a little bit.
Thank you.
I want to welcome our friend and Representative Matt Hatchett. Matt, thank you so much for coming down today. Not surprised at all to see you here. This is a community event. We're talking about the future of Dublin and Lawrence County. I'm guessing this is not the first time you've ever come to one of these?
No, it's been a while, but I did do a lot of these years ago. But when I saw it in the paper, I said, I'm gonna go down there and see what everybody's saying about our county.
Well, I'm glad to have you here, and I know you're listening. I saw you over at the table speaking with a mayor from another community and some of the local law enforcement. Matt, I guess over the years, a lot of good things have happened here, and we're headed in a very positive direction. Do you think some of that comes from these types
of things where you have communication among all the people that want to be involved, that want to make a difference, and that's something that Lawrence County, Dublin, and East, all the cities, they're always communicating, and they may not agree, but they're communicating, and they're hopefully trying to work in the right direction to make everything better
for everybody.
This is we're at Carnegie Library. We're right here in the heart of downtown, and I can go back to when the Fred Roberts, they were thinking about tearing it down, and we built the got the DDA to build the farmers market, and the DDA actually got the Fred Roberts and everything. It's just grown from here all the way down the street. It's amazing.
So a lot of teamwork.
A lot of teamwork, a lot of investment, a lot of private and government's worked with them to get it done. So.
Well, you made me think, and I mentioned this the other morning, there's an old Charlie Daniels song, and it says we may have done a little fighting amongst ourselves, but you outside folks best leave us alone. And it kind of fits Dublin and Lawrence County. There are times when sometimes everybody doesn't agree, but when the overall betterment of the community is concerned, it sure does seem like folks come together.
It's like that snowball a while to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So we're still running downhill.
Well, Matt, I want to mention real quick for our viewers, you and Senator Walker have graciously agreed to come back, and I believe May the 8th is the date we have set, and you guys are going to share a post-legislative update with us. As always,
share a little bit of what kind of damage we did in Atlanta.
I think you guys had a pretty good session.
I think we did all right. I think we did good.
Well, hey, thank you for your time as always. We appreciate it. All right, I want to welcome Mayor Phil Best to the show. Mayor Best, thank you so much for taking some time. Like Representative Hatchett and so many others, not at all surprised to see you down here today. Yep. We're talking about the betterment of our community here.
That's right.
And so the regional commission gets together. I'm guessing it sounds like from the folks that have been on prior about every 5 years, right. And they draw this plan up and they go back together and sit down and put everything together. And then more, I guess, specifically for us in Lawrence County, and you guys at the local level take these plans and look through them and implement.
That's right.
The plans here.
That's right. It's something they do for us every 5 years, and it helps us. They update our 5-year plans.
Okay.
What they do, but we also have a delivery plan that we do with the county separately.
Okay.
So they're both kind of good things to do, but little different mission on both.
Well, and I think Representative Hatchett and I talked about the thing that we're so fortunate here in Lawrence County is you guys work with the other municipalities as well as the county on the projects that ultimately make life better for everyone here in Lawrence County.
That's right. We try to make it work.
Is there anything, Mayor, that you feel like maybe in this upcoming comprehensive plan that's vitally important for us to make sure we're addressing?
Well, I think the room for improvement is for the drugs and opioid addiction and stuff like that. I think we've got to get a grip on that some way, not just in Dublin, Lawrence County, but
right.
Nationwide. But I think we've got to pay attention to that. And then, as you've said many times, we've got to deal with the workforce development.
I think that, and we mentioned broadband and some other things,
right.
and I find it's not, I don't know what the word would be to use, but the ladies that we had on the show earlier said, you have these 3, 4, 5 overarching topics that come up in every community.
Right.
So I do fully suspect that the folks here in Dublin, Lawrence County can put our heads together, work together, put our resources together, and we can make some progress.
Absolutely. We'll make the good things better, and the things that need improving, we'll improve.